Okay, so then on to our final item, item 26, the Metropolitan Discretionary Response Fund. So, Nicola, you're here for this one. The report's reasonably self-explanatory. Are there any questions on... Oh, well, Nicola, did you want to make any comments? Are there any questions on this report?
Does it get the parade done this year?
They've asked for 35,000.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they would like 35,000. We are not sure of what other funding they've been able to secure at this point in time.
So have we spoken to them, and do we know that this will actually get the parade up and running, or will we get them back again next month?
It's my understanding that we haven't spoken to them about the staff recommendation.
So if it turns out that the 20,000 isn't sufficient, if we were to approve that today, what would they do? Would they then come back to us for an additional amount? Would it be open to them to come back for an additional amount?
There's nothing to stop them making another application to the Discretionary Response Fund, but this is for their rent and operational costs, so they would have some time to secure other funding as well, and we have advised them that they may not receive the full amount that they've requested, and we've provided them with some information about other sources of funding they might want to investigate.
So at 20,000, do we know that that's sufficient for them to deliver the event?
I understand that this isn't towards the actual event, that event is covered by sponsorship. This is for the rent and insurance and other costs of storage of the floats and their operating costs throughout the year.
Okay. All right. Sarah.
Thank you. So this is the second application to council funding in this financial year. So the $20,000 actually takes it up to $85,000 that we'll have granted if we approve it, because we've got $65,000 already towards rent, rates and insurance from another council fund already this year towards this.
Yes.
Yeah. So while the 20 doesn't sound like a lot, it's actually taking it up to 85. No, but that was exactly for the same thing that we've already given them money for. So this is already a top up on what we've already given them. So I'd be reluctant to, do something and then say, I'll come back again if it's not enough, come back again if it's not enough. We've already said 65 and they've come back with more. I'd be reluctant to go over the 20 staff recommendation, knowing that we were really short on funds in the Metropolitan funding round, and they were likely to get other people coming to us for more money as well during the year.
Let's continue with questions for the moment. Tim.
To kind of stop this kind of happening every year, could we get an idea and a breakdown of their budgets from them and work out if, because the Centre Parade's not going to go away, and it's one of those things that has been a problem child for many decades.
Yeah, so we have done that over the years. Yeah. I remember seeing every year their budgets. I mean, one of the biggest costs is their storage, and we're looking for other opportunities. You remember the gymnastics area, and I know that the property people think that they may have someone else that they could look at. So we have that. The question is, obviously they need a major sponsor for the actual event. Need to look at other areas of funding. Does council wish to fund it in a sustainable way? And part of the funding review will also be looking at these ones that we fund every year, and do we look for a multi-year approach to funding them rather than year-on-year, application by application?
Yeah, because I'm just wondering, like they've got a naming right sponsor in multimedia, but it's it's a hard one, and I just don't know.
The real cost is their storage, as you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you, Yanni, and then Jimmy. Yanni.
So where have we got to with the storage? Because this has been going for about 2-3 years, and do we have a kind of time frame for resolution to that?
Next year.
I think so. It's when they build new gymnastics
I
fields,
don't know.
It's the future gymnastics.
Wasn't the exact
It's the old building.
Can we get some information back on that? I mean, I remember there was some discussion through came up in LTP submissions and, I mean,
Yeah.
certainly from memory, it seems like a conversation that's been going on for
I think
2 or 3 years. It's been ongoing for some time.
Gymnastics schools, yeah.
The third party, actually, the gymnastics will have to build a new premise
Yeah.
before we can look at that, so it's actually based on third party.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there might be other options which we're working with them
Yeah,
on,
we
so
are.
that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yep, excellent.
And I just wondered if we've actually approached Christchurch NZ, who are very keen on attracting sponsorship to events, and you know
It's a community.
are they
event.
providing support? They've got a lot of events funding now. Are they able to contribute or help?
This is, this is more of a community event rather than a major event under that definition.
It's not under the mandate.
Well, so cricket playing rugby guys with about 10,000 people if they're lucky is in their mandate, but this isn't. It's got 100,000 people.
It's not in their mandate.
That seems very odd.
Well, it's...
As a matter of-
separate debate.
As a matter of fact, this is, you know, in terms of the split between community events and major events, this is a community event. Whether we agree with that or not, this is a community event, and therefore this is funded by council, not by Christchurch
That's
NZ.
right, but Christchurch NZ also have budgets and have advice and services that they provide to many different groups. So you're basically saying that there's no opportunity for the Christchurch NZ to work with them.
Given that this is a community event and community events are the responsibility of council, and that we've asked Christchurch NZ through their statement of intent to focus on major events, this is not within the area of operation of Christchurch NZ.
The only debate really is how much we give them, as I see it. How much is left in the fund?
At the moment, we've just had a panel meeting, so currently the figures are slightly different to those on the report. There's currently 113,863.
Not a lot to get us through. So are you happy with 3
Okay, so Jimmy had a question, so I'll come to Jimmy's question.
My question is just follow maybe Sarah's question. I just want to know whether this Metropolitan Discretionary Response Fund, it's the same criteria, same as before we have grant funding for the Strength and Community Fund. It's the same criteria or different criteria to assess those applications.
there's a slightly wider criteria for the discretionary response fund, but most of the items that can't be funded in strengthening communities cannot be funded through the discretionary response fund.
Okay, if that's true, just want to know the Christchurch Children the Christmas Parade Trust, whether regarding funding, whether apply for the kind of Strength and Community Fund before, or
No.
always apply for the funding
Yes,
of
five.
Metropolitan Discretionary Response Fund.
No, this is the first application they've made to the discretionary response fund, and they've not made a previous application to the strengthening communities fund.
Yeah, but because we are all aware, a month ago, some of the application, particularly regarding to apply for the Strength and Community Fund, they miss out. They didn't get a sufficient funding, or maybe we just grant the loan, zero for them, whether they're eligible to apply for. If that's true, whether the staff have engaged with them, help them to apply for.
It's not relevant.
So,
It's in relation to this.
well, it's not in relation to the application that we're considering this afternoon. If you were aware of groups who might want to apply to this fund and you wanted to seek advice from staff as to whether they could or not, that's a conversation that obviously you're able to take offline. What we're here this afternoon to discuss is whether we're going to grant $20,000 to the Santa Parade.
I'll move.
Vicky, you've indicated you'll move. Is there a seconder for 20? Sarah? Okay. Is there any debate? I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Against? That's carried. Thank you.